Welcome to this Smart Path Academy Explainer. Today, we are going to master how to gain crucial, easy marks on your Cambridge Checkpoint exams by becoming true vocabulary detectives. If you're in grade 5 or moving into stage 6, you've absolutely faced those tricky questions asking what a specific word means. Well, today we're going to break down exactly how to find the perfect answer every single time.
Here's our game plan for today's briefing. We'll learn the core strategy of being a vocabulary detective, hand you 3 golden exam clues, and then solve a few examples together. After that, we'll dive into some past paper practice, learn how to dodge those sneaky examiner traps, and wrap up with a final challenge. Let's get right to it. All right, Section 1, the vocabulary detective. Let's figure out exactly what the examiner is asking you to do here. The absolute crucial point you need to remember is this. They do not want a dictionary definition of a word. They want to know what the word means in that specific sentence. A word can mean a dozen different things, but only one fits the situation they gave you. So as a vocabulary detective, we have to stop guessing blindly. We have to start using the surrounding sentence as hard evidence to find the precise meaning.
Moving into Section 2, your 3 exam clues. I'm going to hand you the exact tools you need to crack these. These 3 steps are literally your golden rules. Step 1, read the whole sentence before and after the word. The context lives in those surrounding words. Step 2, choose a synonym that fits the exact intensity. You never want to choose a weaker word if the original word is really strong. And step 3, this is your ultimate safety check. Always test your new word by dropping it back into the sentence to see if it actually makes sense. Okay, Section 3, solving 2 examples together. Let's take these tools and see how they work on a real text.
Take a look at this sentence. The enormous gate stood at the entrance to the fort. Notice our target word here is enormous. It's describing a gate at a fort. We need to use this specific context, the entrance to a literal fort, to measure the word's intensity. What is the author really trying to make us picture here?
So if the exam says, write a synonym for enormous, your brain might instantly jump to the word big. You write it down, ready to move on. But wait, is big actually strong enough for full marks? Does it match the intensity of enormous? Let's look at the evidence.
This brilliantly illustrates the mark scheme logic. See the big side? It's just way too vague for this context. A normal, everyday house has a big gate, but a fort? A fort requires something much grander. The examiner wants to see that you understand the true strength of the vocabulary. So you want those high-intensity words like huge, gigantic, or massive.
So your copyable model answer really needs one of those stronger words to perfectly capture the meaning and context. Huge, gigantic, or massive gets the job done. And if we run our Step 3 test, the gigantic gate stood at the entrance. Yep, works perfectly.
Let's try another one. The team refined their design after testing it 3 times. What clues can we gather from that specific phrase, after testing it 3 times? What is that telling us about the word refined? Think about it. If a team took the time to test a design 3 separate times, they didn't just change things at random, right? They did something specific based on the test results. There's a clear goal involved here.
Once again, precision is everything. If you just say they changed the design, you miss in the mark. A change could mean they made it worse, but refined means they actively made it better. So words like improved, perfected, or developed hit the exact bullseye the examiner's looking for. Here is your full mark model answer. You could write improved, perfected, developed, or even just the phrase made better. Let's run our Step 3 test again. The team improved their design after testing it 3 times. Flawless. It keeps the original intent totally intact.
Awesome work so far. Section 4, past paper practice questions. You've got the core strategy down, so it's time for a field test inspired by actual Cambridge grade 5 and 6 past papers.
Check out this text. The small bag was crammed with notebooks, pens, and folded papers. I want you to mentally pause for a second and grab those contextual clues. We have a small bag trying to hold notebooks and pens and folded papers.
Based strictly on those textual clues, what is the word crammed telling us about the state of this bag? If you had to choose a phrase to replace it, would you go with slightly full, very full, or empty? If you went with very full or tightly packed, fantastic job. You nailed the intense meaning of crammed. A tiny bag holding all those items simply couldn't be just slightly full. You used the evidence right there in the sentence to find the precise meaning.
Moving right along to Section 5, dodging common exam traps. We want to make absolutely sure you keep those hard-earned marks. So let's decode the teacher feedback codes so you know what to avoid.
Now, what's really interesting here is this gives you a peek into the marker's brain. Avoid exem, that means your answer is too general, kind of like when we saw big instead of huge. Avoid EV by making sure you actually use the evidence in the text. Watch out for OW, which means you just copy the sentence instead of using your own words. And finally, IR. Never add completely irrelevant details. Stick strictly to the context they gave you.
And that brings us to Section 6, Final Recap and Challenge. We've covered a ton of ground today, so let's quickly review before I leave you with one last puzzle to solve on your own.
Real quick, let's lock in those 3 steps for your independent revision. Number 1, read the context around the word to find your clues. Number 2, match the exact intensity of the original word, don't go weak. And number 3, the ultimate test, always read your new word back in the sentence to make absolutely sure it fits.
I'm going to leave you with this. In an actual 2016 Cambridge past paper, students had to find an alternative for the word colossal. Think about the strategies we learned today. What exact synonym would you write down to match that extreme intensity without falling into the trap of being too weak? Think about how you'd tackle this colossal challenge. Thanks so much for joining this Smart Path Academy Explainer. Keep practicing those detective skills, and I'll catch you next time.